की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौरवंदे हरि बोल। ग्रंथराज भागवतम की जय। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव। राधा माधव जय राधा माधव। जय राधा गोलोकानंद राधा गोलोकानंद राधे। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन। गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन। हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। बोलिए श्री राधा गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय। जगद्गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। युद्धमय नाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथराज भागवतम की जय। जय श्री राधा गोलोकानंद। हरे कृष्ण। तो प्रिय भक्तगण आप सबका स्वागत है। जय हरि बोल। तो आज की कथा को आगे लेकर बढ़ते हैं। Alors n'oubliez pas depuis Srimad Bhāgavatam et toujours 4e chant, 4th canto, chapitre 29. Et aujourd'hui c'est texte 56. तो आप लोग बोलने की चेष्टा करें। बोले ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया Bhagavati uttam shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. तो बोलेंगे साथ में, बोलिए राजोवाच श्रुतं अन्वीक्षितं भ्रमन् भगवान् यत् अभाष नैतत् जानन्ति उपाध्यायाः किं न ब्रूयो विदुर्यदि. राजोवाच श्रुतम् अन्वीक्षितं भ्रमन् भगवान् यत् अभाषत नैतद् जानन्ति उपाध्यायाः किं न ब्रूयुर्विदुर्यदि. राजोवाच श्रुतम् अन्वीक्षितं भ्रमन् भगवान् यत् अभाषत नैतद् जानन्ति उपाध्यायाः किं न ब्रूयुर्विदुर्यदि. राजोवाच श्रुतम् अन्वीक्षितं भ्रमन् भगवान् यद् अभाषत नैतद् जानन्त्य उपाध्यायाः किं न ब्रूयुर्विदुर्यदि. Raja uvacha, the king said, Shrutam was heard, Anvikshitam was considered, Brahman, O Brahmana, Bhagavan, the most powerful, yet, which, Abhashat, you have spoken, na, not, etat, this, jananti, do know, upadhyayaha, the teachers of fruitive activities, kim, why, na bruyuha, they did not instruct, viduha, they understood, yadi, if. Prabhu, bole? Please. Bolu, koi baat.
The king replied, my dear Brahman, however you have said, I have heard with
great attention
and consideration. Also, it have came to the conclusion that the acharyas, teachers who engaged me in the bhakti activities and did not know this confident knowledge, if they were aware of it, why did they not explain it to me?
The translation and purport by Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So translation, the king replied, my dear Brahmana, whatever you have said, I have heard with great attention, and considering all of it, have come to the conclusion that the acharyas, teachers who engaged me in fruitive activity, did not know this confidential knowledge. If they were aware of it, why did they not explain it to me? Alors ça c'est une grande question et une grande controverse déjà vous trouvez. Alors le passe-temps c'est toujours conversation entre le Narad Muni et Raja Prachin Parishad. Alors ici nous trouvons qui comment chez le Narad Muni il peut instruire le roi Prachin Parishad dans Bhagavad Dharma. Alors ici il explique plusieurs bonne analogie et là-dedans nous trouvons que Raja Prachin Parishad est si bien comme si engagé devant le système karmakand, fait beaucoup de sacrifices devant les animaux et les services karmakand. Alors ici chez la Narad Muni il prend sur l'étang, sur patience, il explique Raja Prachin Parishad, il explique le passe-temps de Raja Puranjan, qui déjà c'est une histoire allégorique. Parce que Raja Puranjan, pas une personne qui existait, mais c'est surtout la vie de cette entité vivante qui vient de ce monde, surtout pour l'amusement, pour sense gratification qu'on appelle. Alors, malgré qu'il prend de trouver dans 4 différents chapitres, conversation là, il est supposé être flou. Mais si chez la Vyasdev, il s'est parlé en plusieurs différents chapitres. Mais si nous regardons avant, dans 4 chapitres, chez Narad Muni explique Raja Prachin Varishad, le passe-temps de Raja Puranjan, la vie de sa entité vivante qui déjà lit dans l'écho, emprisonné dans l'écho. Alors, si nous comprenons bien, dans sa l'écho là, quand vous lisez le passe-temps, vous continuez, vous trouvez qu'il disait qu'une personne, selon son activité, c'est ça qui détermine ce prochain écho. Alors, ce qui nous fait vivre là, c'est surtout l'activité qui nous fait dans les sens passés. Et là, maintenant, nous avons dit qu'il nous peut faire avec Krishna Bhakti. Et là, sa naissance là, tout ce qu'il nous peut faire, prochaine naissance, nous pouvons récolter ce fruit. C'est comme ça qu'il expliquait. Donc, vous trouvez après devant le peuple, je ne vais pas l'expliquer. Alors, nous, mon activité qui nous peut faire actuellement, le mode de vie qui nous peut vivre, nous peut dire, c'est grâce à ces bons fruits de nos activités de nos naissances passées. Et maintenant, si de sa naissance-là, nous donnons le temps de nous Krishna Bhakti, définitivement dans nos prochaines naissances, soit nous gagnons pure Bhakti, et qui fait par le Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Alors ça, il dépend de nous, quantité, les temps qu'il nous peut développer dans nos Bhakti. Alors quand Srila Narad Muni, il explique Raja Prachin Parishad, ça va différents passe-temps là, de Raja Puranjan. Et Raja Prachin Parishad dit Narad Muni, vous connaissez, où une personnalité bien avancée, déjà libérée, c'est de Bhakt de Bhagavan. Alors, ça va une philosophie qui nous fait moi écouter là. Moi, comme dire, moi, pas comprendre rien, parce que moi, juste dans Karma Kand. Moi, juste engagé dans Karma Kand. Mais, là, je ne vais pas faire rien pour respecter toi. Tu as besoin de comprendre. Chaque terme qu'on peut expliquer toi, tout ça, une personnalité que je mentionné dans sa 4 différents chapitres avant là, tu as besoin de comprendre un point. Puranjan, c'est qui? C'est sa jivatma qui reste dans sa léko là. Il y a les rois. Tout atma dans sa léko là, il pense qu'il y a les rois. Les rois, ils peuvent vivre dans un royaume qui s'appelle Panchal Desh. Et dans Panchal Desh, il y a 9 lapotes. Alors dans sa léko là, nous connaissons un nom, on appelle the city of 9 gates. Ça veut dire que nous devons nous diriger, nous des narines, nous la bouche, nous des oreilles, et aussi nous avons le rectum, the genitals. Alors j'ai vu ça 9 lapotes là, c'est là-dedans qui maintenant ça, pour un jeune, ça jivatma là, il peut jouir. Et quand les jeunes sont madame, dans l'histoire qui explique une allégorie, alors il appelle Puranjani. Enfin, Puranjani nous vient après une deuxième façon pour aller, mais la reine de Puranjan. Alors, c'est qui arrivé qui représente l'intelligence. Et lui, l'intelligence, disait qui, lui là, si ou mal servi, définitivement, lui promène nous dans mauvais chemin. Pas oublier l'intelligence qui nous servit, on appelle ça l'intelligence matérielle. Mais, comment nous avons the gross material body, qui nous avons 5 sens, nous avons dire, the knowledge of acquiring senses, et nous avons aussi the working senses, karmendriya et gyanendriya. Alors ça déjà fait 5, 5, 10, plus nous, déjà nous, l'intelligence. Et nous, l'intelligence, n'est pas tout seul, nous avons aussi, nous vivons dans le pendant tout ça l'année là, et là ça va un basic understanding là, non? Alors nous avons dit gross material body, on appelle en hindi nous appelle स्थूल शरीर, हिंदी में उसको स्थूल शरीर कहते हैं, और उसके साथ क्या है सूक्ष्म शरीर. सूक्ष्म शरीर made up of mind, intelligence and force, मन, बुद्धि और अहंकार. So this subtle body, samyam ki phone. प्रभु जी आप समझते हैं? आप हिंदी समझते हैं? English, okay. तो थोड़ा अंग्रेजी में समझा देते हैं. So this material body is made up of, as we just mentioned, we have the gross material body and we have also the subtle body, which is made up of. So what is the gross material body made of? Everyone you see, everyone has got 2 eyes, you have the nose, the mouth, the 2 ears, and everyone has got the genitals and the rectum. These are called the 9 gates. So we have a very important katha ongoing here currently, where you have a king named Prachin Barishat, and now he is asking question to his spiritual master Srila Narad Muni. And Srila Narad Muni has explained to him about the story of a king who never existed. The king actually is the soul residing inside this body. So how he is living in this material world just for sense gratification. You understand the term sense gratification? For enjoyment and nothing else. The eyes want to see beautiful forms. The nose wants to, smell, have good smell, right? The mouth wants to taste good food. And the ears wants to hear so many nice things. Like this. Okay? So in this sense, now that Srila Narad Muni, being the spiritual master, the guru, he has been explaining to Raja Prachin Barishat, but he said, my dear spiritual master, I am not understanding anything. Because this is very high philosophy form. Very high philosophy. So then Narad Muni explained again. He explained to him, this king, he lived a life full of sense gratification with his wife, and then came a time when he was attacked by Gandharvas. Chandaveg. Chandaveg is actually time. Time attacks. And he was attacked by how many soldiers? Chandaveg came with 360 soldiers only. And what does that represent? It represents the days and the night, 1 full year. So he wanted to explain to us that King Puranjan, or the living entity, we as time passes, he's growing older. And old age, or invalidity of old age, is what we call Kalkanya. When Chandaveg, the king of Gandharva, started attacking the kingdom of Puranjan, he came with his army. And there was also Kalkanya. Kanya means a girl. Kalkanya means old age. With time, people start becoming old. And this is the reality of life. So till we are young, we are least bothered about old age. But then, when Kalkanya started and Chandaveg started attacking the kingdom of King Puranjan, it's mentioned that when the body starts, when it grows old, then the air, what we call the prana vayu, the 5 life airs in our body. And when they're in disbalance, this is where you start, the person starts, attracting all kinds of diseases. That's why you have prana, pan, vyan, saman and udan. Everyone, each of these life airs, they have got a specific role in the body. So it was represented by a snake. So this was the allegorical story of King Puranjan. So his city was being attacked, the body is being attacked by disease, by time, old age. And then when King Puranjan, means the Jivatma, left the body, he was just thinking, who's going to take care of my beautiful wife? Who's going to take care of my kingdom? And that's mentioned that because he left the body in that state, he acquired the body of a woman in the next birth. That's why he Hare Krishna. So this was the story of King Puranjan. It's a long allegorical story. But then, after explaining all this to King Prachin Barishat is saying, I'm not understanding anything. Then Narad Muni starts explaining another allegorical story of the deer. There's a deer who's enjoying in the forest, and surrounded by flowers, surrounded by the female, and you have the sound of the humming bees. Now he is enjoying, he is eating all these nice grass and all that. But one thing is not realizing, Hare Krishna. One thing is not realizing is that in front of him there is a tiger which is waiting to attack. Because the tiger is what? Wants to eat his flesh. And at the back there is also a hunter which is ready with sharp arrow, bow and arrow, waiting to kill it. But then the deer is least bothered about that. He is enjoying his life. So this is the status, this is the situation of every living entity. We're just like the deer. Enjoying with our wife, our children. Srila Prabhupada explains in the previous purport that, it's so nice you have the flower, means it's like, environment created by the male and the female, enjoying sense gratification, sex life and everything. And the humming bees are just like, the children. You're always so happy hearing, your small kid coming to you, playing and all that. So he's explaining this is the situation of the living entity. But its death is imminent. He's going to die. No one can escape death. So the deer is still just like, out of ignorance, only taken up in sense gratification. But Srila Narayana explains, no. Means the living entity has to take ownership of his life. He has to plan, like we mentioned earlier. Whatever we are doing in this life, whatever prosperity, whatever little happiness we have, is due to our past karma. This is the fruit that we are enjoying now. And what we're going to do in this life, this is what we're going to cultivate. Or this is what we're going to, enjoy, reap the fruit in the next life. So we have to take full responsibility of our life. So then, after explaining all this Bhagavad Dharma, now what's happening? We see it's written Raju Vacha. Means now the Raja means King Prachin Bharishat. He was a real king. He was there. He was in the history. We have our previous Acharya have been able to figure out in which, generation or genealogy where he was and who were his ancestors and now who are also his descendants. So he said, he was one of the progenitors empowered by Brahmaji for procreation. Right, Prabhuji? So Brahmaji had to start, he had to create. But how he created? He created through all these different progenitors. Okay, so we have Manu Maharaj, you have Kashyap Muni, all these personalities were the progenitors. So at one point we had Raja Prachin Bharishat. He had 10 sons and these sons were named, they were the Prachetas. How many? 10. Now these sons, they were given the responsibility by the father because there is a certain age when the father is supposed to be retiring and handing over the responsibility to the sons. Now, is the world ongoing like this? Is the father willing to, to retire and give everything to the son, responsibility, and go ahead and go to the forest? Going to the forest nowadays is does that make sense? To tell you, in Hindi, I think you understand Hindi also, right? When we count, we reach age of 50, we say 50. But then as soon as we reach 51, we say Ikyavan. Ikyavan. Van prast. Now you get ready to go towards the one. Ikyavan, Bhavan. Is that okay? Makes sense? That's why even in our counting system it's explained after the age of 50 you have to start retiring from many activities. Because whatever you had to do, how much money you had to earn, you have earned already. You won't be able to earn more than that. Till the age of 50, earn as much as you can. But after that, now you have to start preparing. Because after the age of 50, the body is not going to respond the same way it responds. You can't run around, enjoy, be like, I'm still young. You're young mentally. Your mind will say, no, we are still young. We can do so many things. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. But the body won't allow you. The body can't, because the body is getting old. As soon as you start seeing signs, when your hair start getting white or grey hair, these are the signs. Even Raja Dashrath experienced that. He saw. No. And once he was looking at himself in the mirror and he saw that he has white hair, grey hair, showing sign coming up. So he understood, okay, it's time for me to hand over the kingdom to Bhagwan Ram, means to Lord Ram, to his son. So these are signs we have to understand, but the mind doesn't allow us. We are so much engrossed in money making. We are so much engrossed in money making and enjoying life. We say, Prabhu, we don't have time for that. No one has time. For sure, no one has time. But when will you die? Will you know? Do you know? Are we going to die one day, Prabhuji? Yes. Are we going to die someday? Yes. We have seen so many of our ancestors, they came. They enjoyed. They lived a life the way they wanted. They had that minute freedom. They grew old and they died. And this is a cycle of life. And in Srimad Bhāgavatam is explained in the beginning, in the very beginning, is that we have a tendency to think that, my body is just like, going to protect me. Deha apatya kalatra adishu. Meaning, deha, the apatya. Kalatra adishu. Meaning that you have your sons. Kalatra means your wife. Or if you're a wife, then you mean your husband. They are adishu, means etc. and so on. Adishu. They are going to take care of me. Atma sanyeshu. That's like Sainik. They are going to take care of this body of mine. But does it happen? Really? How many times do we see that old people are left alone? And nowadays there is the fashion. I should say fashion nowadays. They're just sending the old people to homes. You go there, you enjoy enough, now go. We don't have time to take care of you. Please, ma'am, go. Father, go. And whatever you have, you accumulated wealth, you give it to us. Now we'll enjoy it. This is the tendency that's happening nowadays. So, this is the situation of Kali Yuga nowadays. Children don't have time for parents. Because they're so much engrossed in their own, building their career and future. But then, why do we have family as an institution? Why do we have family? We are always indebted to our parents, we should not forget. Matririn, Pitririn, there's always. And Gururin. If you have a Guru also, you are indebted towards your Guru. But when will we be able to, Hare Krishna, when will we be able to pay all these bad debts? So, Mata Pita ki seva karni chahiye. Irrespective of where we are. We have to take care of them. That's something very important. So we just came to the practical point of our Bhagavad Dharma. Okay, because nowadays the tendency is like this. You're just kind of, leading or living a life and so much engrossed in, we mentioned, sense gratification and money making, that we don't have time for our parents. We don't have time for those who have been so close in taking care of us. Imagine as a baby, if your mother just left you like that, your father just left you like that, where would have you been today? No, but then they took the patience to bring you up to here. So we have that kind of debt. And how to pay those debts is by taking care of them when they reach old age. That's very important. So, coming back to the pastime of Srila Narad Muni and Raja Puranjan. Now the king is asking a very important question. He was so much engrossed in karmakand. Karmakand means you do so many sacrifices, and this is also has become kind of business. We have to accept it or not. Whether you like it or not is just like business ongoing nowadays. We are not criticizing anyone. Panditjis, Purohits are doing their way of doing. They have learnt that way. They are doing it. Because this is what they have learnt. But now, Raja Prachin Parishad is complaining. He's asking Narad Muni one very important question. And many of us maybe might have asked it sometime in the past. Or maybe in the future we'll ask the same question. And what is that question? Whatever you are teaching me, Shri Narad, जो आप मेरे को सिखा रहे हैं, ये तो मेरे जो आचार्य गण हुए, जो मेरे पंडित गण हुए, मेरे को कभी नहीं सिखाए. They have never taught me about this. All these priests, all these acharyas that have been there, the kul gurus. You know, every king, they had their kul gurus. But they never taught me about all these things. Why? So let's read it together. हम साथ में पढ़ेंगे. The king replied, Rajovacha, the king replied, my dear Brahman, my dear Brahman, whatever you have said, I have heard with great attention. And considering all of it, have come to the conclusion that the acharyas, teachers who engaged me in fruitive activity did not know this confidential knowledge. If they were aware of it, why did they not explain it to me? आप लोग समझ रहे हैं? I hope you're understanding what's happening here. Now, आप लोग को दिख रहे हैं? Yeah. So, आप लोग भी भारत से हैं? No, Mauritian? Mauritian? Okay, good. So you're from Zukovac? Zukovac? So, this is the main question that many of us we ask. We have been doing all these karmakand, all these pujas for all these years till now. But why are our panditjis, our acharyas, our gurus not teaching us this Bhagavad Dharma? You know, Srimad Bhāgavatam is fully Bhagavad Dharma. One thing you have to understand. We have heard of Dharma, Artha, Kama, or Moksha, the four Purushartha. Dharma, you just follow Dharma. You are doing some puja, you are doing. Right? Artha, economic development. Earning money. There's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong. You earn your money, no problem. But do it the proper way. No black money, please. Krishna doesn't accept it. So dharma, artha, kam. Kam means now sense gratification, enjoyment. And then at the end, after doing all that, and then out of frustration, अरे यार ये सब करके कुछ नहीं मिला मेरे को. So many people feel like this. After so much economic development, I have accumulated so much wealth. I have enjoyed so much. Still, the mind says, I need more, I want more. That's the greed. Gumajis. We are never satisfied. And then out of frustration, we say, okay, we went to Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, there the Prabhu was saying, okay, it's time to retire, don't waste your time when you reach that age, certain age. Okay, let's now seek liberation. Ab mukti chahiye, ya moksha chahiye. So these are called the four Purushartha. Every one of us are doing the same thing. Are we not doing the same thing? Be sincere to yourself. Dharma, Artha, Kama or Moksha. But Sanatan Dharma teaches it the other way around. Bhagavad Dharma, Sanatan Dharma is teaching it the other way around. Don't wait for mukti last minute. Some people say there's no time. That's why there's the same complaint. Everyone, we don't have time. किसके पास टाइम है? Who has time? किसने लेता हूँ सूझी? नहीं क्या लेता हूँ? No one has time. We are doing Bhagavad Katha every day. How many people are coming? If people who had time and they found it to be important, the temple should have been full with people attending. But you have it in some. You go to India, भारत जाइए. हर मंदिर में सुबह आप जाएंगे, और खासकर हमारे इस्कॉन मंदिर में भागवत कथा रोज होती है, नित्यम भागवत से हुई है, और वहां पे भक्त भरे हुए रहते हैं, पब्लिक फुल, दे आर देयर, एंड दे लिसनिंग टू कथा एंड देन गोइंग टू वर्क, एंड देन दे गो टू वर्क, बिकॉज दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, लाइक वी मेंशन अर्लियर. नष्ट प्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यम भागवत सेवया. We have so much misgivings, so many anarth in our heart. That's why we have to listen to Bhagavad Katha every day. Whether we are working or already retired or whatever. Young, old, man, woman, small kid. In any situation, any condition we are in life, we have to listen to Bhagavad Katha every day. You can't come to temple? No problem. We have so many solutions nowadays. Online class ongoing. I'm currently live. Okay, so many people are listening to the Katha. So we cannot say that complain we don't have time. Time is there. If you're going in the metro, you're going in the car, okay, someone is giving lecture. If not, you don't like Mauritian preachers, listen to preachers from Bharat, listen to preachers from UK. There are preachers throughout the world who are doing Katha every day. The Kathas are already kind of recorded and it's on YouTube. Just go and look for Bhagavad Katha and listen and get enlightened. There's so many things to learn. So nowadays we have so much facility, we can't complain that we don't have time, It's our unwillingness to listen to Bhagavad Gita. Because as you mentioned, so many times you have mentioned, Ravan is not dead. Ravan is still there. Lord Ram killed Ravan, yes. But Ravan is still there in our heart and still dominating us with the 10 heads. 10 heads, right? So many times you have mentioned that. कितनी बार बोल चुके आप लोगों को? क्या क्या है? काम, क्रोध, मद, लोभ, मोह, मात्सर्य, मन, चित्त, बुद्धि, अहंकार. These are the 10 heads of Ravan. Why was Ravan killed by Lord Ram? The first head, lusty desires. Lusty desire is not only connected to, attraction to the opposite sex. No, that's not only lust. Lust means you want to have something that does not belong to you. That is called lusty desires. That's not yours, but you want it. Sita Mata was Lord Ram's wife. Ravan knew. And Ravan was supposed to be Shastri. He knew Vedas. But still, what happened? What happened to him? He abducted Sita Mata. So Sita Mata did not belong to him. She belonged to Lord Ram. But still, because of lusty desires. You understanding what we mean by lusty desire? Lusty desire doesn't mean only attracted to the opposite sex. No, but it also means what we just mentioned. Whatever doesn't belong to you, you want to go and take that by hook or crook. You see your neighbor has a very nice house, okay, and property, and we have heard so many times. People, maybe last generation have done that a lot. We heard a lot about that. How they used, illegal ways of just, just stealing those properties. You heard of that? You heard so many. Why? These are called what? These lusty desires. You want to be owner of something that is not destined to you. So Kam, Krodh, anger. We have heard of anger. Mad, pride. I know I belong to this family. I'm a very aristocratic family. I belong to this caste and all that. So these are all, like we say, fiyate. Kam, Krodh, Mad, Lobh. Lobh means greedy, as you mentioned. You give so much money to a person, you always ask, and the same thing I ask whenever I go to university and lecture to my students. I ask them, by default I'm lecturing at University of Mauritius, okay? So sometime you can meet me there, okay? But I do preach to my students also and ask them, what are you happy in, basically? How much money do you think you have in your bank balance that you'll be satisfied, you'll be happy? Sometimes someone say, okay, 50 million, 60 million, 70 million. They talk by millions nowadays. I say, okay, let's say now we do some arrangement. I give you the 50 million now. Will you stop all activities? I said, no. He won't. He said, no. That 50 million you're giving me, that's okay. I've already acquired. Then I'm going to push it more. I'll take it to 100 million. So you will never be satisfied. And we've heard so many people saying the same thing also. Another scenario now. I've been working for 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years of my life. In Mauritian language they say it like this. Mon travail mon bif tout long mo la vie. Mais preocupan gay now in this case. Pinakas de la banque. Have you heard of that? You heard so many people complaining like this. कि उम्र भर मैंने काम किया है गधे की तरह, बैल की तरह, पर बैंक बैलेंस कुछ है ही नहीं. कभी सुना आपने किसी ने कंप्लेन करते हुए? So this is something usual. तो कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला है इन लोगों को. क्यों? हरे कृष्णा. Because I told you, आपके कर्मों में नहीं है. Whatever we are benefiting now, whatever we are kind of enjoying now is due to our past karma. This is the fruit. This life you are enjoying it. And what we're going to do now, this is what we're going to enjoy in next life. It goes like this. Why? As I mentioned, the 10 heads. We are still going on. But your mind, your buddhi, your ahankar is going to take you to the next body. Automatically. This is the system that Bhagavan Shri Krishna has set up. And it's so perfect that no one can surpass it. It acts like this. It's perfect. Like we say, Om Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. It's Purna, it's all perfect. Bhagavan is perfect and whatever system he has created is all perfect. It's working out of perfection. We cannot change it. So how, when a person is leaving his or her body, what's happening? So that science only is explained in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhāgavatam. So when you leave, what happens? And how this subtle body, we all have the mind, right? We all have buddhi, we all have false ego. So this is called the subtle body, Sukshma Sharir. It never destroyed. This is the problem. It can be destroyed if you want it. Otherwise, the gross material body will deteriorate like Narad Muni is explaining to Raja Prachin Bari. The body is going to deteriorate with time. And then you're going to die. Then what next? Then your subtle body is going to take you to the next body. This is what we explain, how the soul moves to another body. This is the science. Transmigration of the soul. आप लोग थोड़ा सा प्रसाद लेकर जाएगा, Hare Krishna, in a prasad as well. So here, now the question being asked by whom? Raja Prachin Bari. कि हे ब्राह्मण, आपने तो मेरे को सब सिखा बताया अभी ये भागवत धर्म, पर मेरे गुरु क्यों नहीं सिखाए मेरे को? It seems that they don't know. This is my conclusion. I have heard you with rapt attention. Hare Krishna. Please come next time. Hare Krishna. I have heard with great attention. And I am concluding, I have come to the conclusion that the acharya, the teachers who engaged me in Karma Kand did not know this confidential knowledge. तो यही प्रश्न है. Do our Pandits, our Purohits, we are not criticizing anyone, we are just putting that in front of you. What Narad Muni is teaching to Raja Prachin Bari and what Raja Prachin Bari is now concluding. And many of us who have concluded that have understood that even we should say, no, we can't put everyone in the same basket, but majority don't, I won't say don't know, maybe they have heard, but they are not preaching Bhagavatam. They make you do karma kand, but they don't preach Bhagavatam. So this is also, is it fair or unfair? It's unfair because they know if you know Bhagavad Dharma, you'll be detached, you won't even do karma kand. You won't be attracted. And this is what's going to happen to Raja Prachin Parishad. He's going to leave everything. He'll stop karma kand totally. Because Narad Muni, when he was explaining the pastime of Raja Puranjan, he was explaining to Raja Prachin Bari also, when you do too many karma kand, all these types of sacrifices, what will be the reaction? Those people who still do animal sacrifice, he said, see all these animals that you have sacrificed, they are all waiting for you. And they have horns made up of iron. And they're going to pierce your body when you leave the body. They're waiting for you. The reaction is there. So this is what he's explaining. But no one now, if you're going and the Pandit is telling you do this, do that, and when you ask questions they don't answer, then this is a big problem. Because every action that you do, you're accountable. So you should know what you're doing and why you're doing any puja. We just mentioned we are not criticizing anyone. Everyone is free to do whatever he or she wants, but you assume the responsibility. You take the responsibility. Here through Bhagavad Dharma, through Bhagavatam, we're trying to explain to you that the reaction will be there. Every action you do, there will be a reaction. And Srila Prabhupada just, concludes it or summarizes it in just one line or 2-3 words. Ignorance is not an excuse. You can't say, I did not know. You're going on the road, you're driving your car, it's a red signal. You keep going. But how come you're sitting in the car? How come you have a driving license? If you don't do, you have to stop. So somewhere we know what is, karma, akarma and vikarma. We know that. But still we're doing karma, good actions, pious activities. Akarma, later on I'll explain. Vikarma, prohibited actions. And akarma means you're doing some action where there is neither some positive or negative reaction. It's just neutral. But we say, I did not know. Police is going to stop you, fine you. Come on, stop. So, is ignorance an excuse? Is ignorance an excuse? No, it's not an excuse. You should give time to yourself and sit among devotees and learn this Bhagavad Dharma. So now he is asking, same question again. The king is asking, why did our Acharya they did not teach that to me? I am understanding now. Now you are telling me, you've given me so much time. Now I have started understanding that they did not know anything. Or do they know and not teaching me? So this is the question. If they were aware of it, why did they not explain it to me? So in the purport now, Srila Prabhupada is explaining, and see what term Srila Prabhupada is using. Actually, the so-called teachers or leaders of material society do not really know the goal of life. Because if they know the goal of life, they're not going to push you down to hellish planets again. If they knew, they would not tell you that. They might be knowing something, they might have heard something, and they might pose themselves as scholars, but actually they don't know. Because anyone who knows what is Bhagavad Dharma, he is not going to send you to Karma Kand and Gyan Kand. Because they know Karma Kand, Gyan Kand, Keval Vishera Bhan. Repeat. Karma Kand, Gyan Kand, Keval Vishera Bhan. What is the meaning of that? When you do Karma Kand, fruitive activities unknowingly, just mechanically, and Gyan, you just follow, you become a big scholar. I am Dvivedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi, and so many Vedi. But then at the end, you just know this much. You're just, you become a professional reciter, just reciting mantras. But that doesn't help. Because the real goal of Ved is to Vasudeva Paraveda. Topmost Ved, topmost knowledge is to know Vasudeva. Even Lord Shri Krishna mentions, Vedesya Veder Aham Eva Vedyo. You have to know me. Through the Vedas, you have to know me, know Krishna, know Vasudeva. If you don't know him, all this knowledge is just a waste of time. Hare Krishna. Shubhdev. Take some prasad. Take some prasad. Prabhuji is giving. Yeah. So I hope understanding now, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that these people don't know the goal of life. Ask someone, maybe sometimes, if you're following some guru, or you're following some whoever you feel is in a position to answer your question, go and ask them. Ask them what is the goal of life. If they tell you the goal of life is to know Krishna and to become his devotee, then okay, he is guru. But he says something else. Hello beta, काम करो, पैसा कमाओ, मौज करो. एक ही जीवन मिलता है, ऐश करो. तो वहां से भागो. Then run from there because they're going to take you down, back, down, where? To hell. This is what Srila Prabhupada and our Acharyas have mentioned. That if someone is not taking you to Krishna consciousness, he is not Guru. You have to be very cautious. So they are described in Bhagavad Gita as Maya Paritjnana. You know, Bhagavan Shri Krishna explains, this is just one phrase of the shlok. You have 4 different stanzas in every shlok of Bhagavad Gita, mostly. Most of them. So, Shri Bhagavan Shri Krishna mentioned that there are 4 types of persons who are going to come and surrender, and 4 who will never surrender. Namam dushkrino buddha prapadyante naradhama maya paritjnana. This is what here, the line is there. Namam dushkrino buddha prapadyante naradhama. Mudha, those who are mudha. There are two words here. Mudha and Buddha. Buddha means someone who uses buddhi. So another term for devotees who are understanding Bhagavad Dharma, they are called Buddha. Those who want to know Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And Mudha, jo murkh hai. Prabhu, please. Sorry. They are called Mudha. The Namam Dushkritino Mudha Prapadyante. They are not going to come and surrender to me. Naradhaman, they are the lowest of mankind. You understand the first one? Those who are Mudha. The least of the lowest of mankind. And third category, Maya Paritjnana. Those whose buddhi has been, taken up by illusion. Maya Paritjnana. They are in illusion. Asuram Bhavam Ashrita. Asuram, those who have demoniac qualities. So these 4 kinds of man or woman will never ever surrender to me. And see what Srila Prabhupada is writing here. Maya Paritjnana. So in Bhagavad Gita, this is how they are described. They might look scholarly, but their buddhi, their intelligence is what? Has been kind of kidnapped. By what? By illusion. तो वो लोग खुद माया में है, तो आप उनको माया में से कैसे निकालेंगे आपको? They'll never be able to take it out of Maya. So this is how Srila Prabhupada explains. They appear to be very learned scholars. They appear to be very learned scholars. But actually the influence of the illusory energy has taken away the knowledge. उनकी जो बुद्धि है भ्रष्ट हो गई है. Many times we sit and realize that in this world there are so many philosophies. So many philosophies. Again in Bhāgavatam explains that. There's one very important chapter called Universal Management. How is Bhagavan Shri Krishna managing this universe? We are all behind management, right? And all these big shots of management, as they call them as management gurus. They're learning from our Shastra, but some of them acknowledge, okay, we're learning from Bhagavad Gita and we're giving Bhagavad Gita only. They acknowledge. So this is called those who are not doing plagiarism. Plagiarism are those, you're just taking someone else's work and say, this is my work. And they're making big money out of that. All these big management gurus, they are taking all these ideas from Srimad Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and giving that to us. So here, what we have to understand, in that universal management that I wanted to mention, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is explaining, Vimohit Atma Virnana Darshane Nacha Drishyate. The full stroke is like this. Stuyamano Janerevi Maya Narupaya. So, what is the meaning? Stuyamano Janerevi Maya Narupaya Vimohit Atma Virnana Darshane Nacha Drishyate. You can refer to it. 8.14.10. Very small chapter. So 8:14:10 in that shloka, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is explaining, there are so many philosophers and philosophies, and so many isms that Sri Prabhupada mentions. They are trying very hard to know me. Everyone wants to know, because anything that you want to gain, you want to know, will lead you to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So some are following so many different paths of religion. Say, it's the same path we're following. But they'll never know Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Bhagavan Shri Krishna mentions, Nana darshane nacha drishyate. There are so many. Nana means so many, darshan means so many philosophies. Nacha drishyate. They are never able to see me. Why? Because I am covered by my Divya Shakti. Maya Shakti, Yog Maya is covering me. So forget about material when you talk about, Maya. Maya also is, you have the spiritual Maya and the material Maya. Material is Maya only. Illusion. You have the spiritual one, Yog Maya. Bhagavan does everything through Yog Maya. But what we are here, we are fallen, we are under Bhagavan's, as you mentioned, Devi Isha Gunumai, Bhagavan Shri explains. Maya, this energy of mind consisting, Hare Krishna, Devi Isha Gunumai, Mama Maya Durudya, Mameva Prapandyati, Maya Metam Tarantite. This divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature. Whatever the three modes of material nature, Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun, they're just like ropes. They're so strong. It is very difficult to overcome that. Bhagavan is explaining, this is Divya Shakti, this is my Shakti. So we keep on blaming because of Maya, because of Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna is suffering. This is all Bhagavan's Shakti only. It's Divya, it's divine. But we cannot go beyond that till we surrender. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Swagat Hare Krishna. So we have to be very, very cautious. And this is what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here. But actually the influence of the illusory energy has taken away their knowledge. Same thing, we are talking about universal management. Everyone wants to manage this world. Will we be able to manage this world? What are human beings doing? What's happening in this world? There's war. Right? So much problem is happening. And we are all complaining. The price of diesel has gone up. The price of fuel has gone up. Now the air ticket, the price will go up. So there's so many complaints. We'll keep on complaining because these people who are managing this world, they are just they appear to be very learned scholars, but actually the influence of the illusory energy has taken away their knowledge. You are able to relate? When Srila Prabhupada has written that? So many decades ago Prabhupada has written these purports. But this is ever fresh. Because we are seeing it now also. We saw it in the past. We are seeing it now and we will keep on seeing that in the future. Because all these so-called learners will keep on creating problems. Why? Because they have not put Bhagavan Shri Krishna as the center. They want to become the center. They want to be the first. Aham purvam, I want to be first, always. Aham purvam, always, I want to be first. You can't be the first. You can be the last, best. But you can never be the first. The first is always Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Always. So till they don't realize this, they'll always be under the illusory energy of the Lord. The same thing that we just mentioned about that verse of universal management. Prabhu, can you just look for that? Can you look for that verse? 8:14:10. Universal management. Prabhuji. Abhidhanji Gopal. 8:14:10. You got it? Just look Srimad Bhāgavatam Veda base 8:14:10. And please repeat that so that everyone gets to hear about that. Hare Krishna Mataji, Prabhuji. Welcome. You are from Prabhuji? Mauritius. And Mataji? En français. Oh Krishna, vous allez comprendre là? Nous sommes un peu confus là. J'essaie de faire la classe. J'ai commencé en créole et puis on a shifté en hindi, puis on a fait l'anglais. This is an international society. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. You got it, Prabhu? Yes, please read that.
People in general are divided by the illusory energy, and therefore they try to find the absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead, through various types of research and philosophical speculation. Nonetheless, they are unable to see the supreme God.
The same thing that we just mentioned. It's not easy to understand Lord Shri Krishna just like mental speculation or just posing yourself as a scholar. Impossible. It's only through bhakti, only through devotional service. Vous comprenez un peu l'anglais? Ah, vous comprenez, ah, c'est bon. On peut continuer. Ok. So, alors, le passe-temps ici, we are talking about cette conversation entre Srila Narada Muni et le roi Prachinbali. Et le conseil. Et maintenant, aujourd'hui, c'est un topic très... Comment on dit là? On va poser beaucoup de questions. Parce que ici, le roi a compris. Il a compris c'est quoi le Bhāgavatam. Maintenant, il commence à faire des complaintes. Il a réalisé beaucoup de choses. Alors, il demande à Srila Narada Muni, mais pourquoi mes gourous, mes maîtres spirituels ne m'ont pas donné cette connaissance auparavant? Et là, je ne peux pas l'expliquer. Mais le gourou, et Srila Narada Muni va pouvoir le dire, que le gourou que tu étais en train de suivre, eux-mêmes ne le connaissent pas. Ce secret. Mais comment ils vont te donner ce secret? Alors c'est ça pourquoi on dit qu'il faut toujours être en association de dévots. Et c'est là qu'on va apprendre beaucoup de choses. Who is the real guru? Should the guru be a sannyasi? Always a sannyasi, then he becomes a guru. Remember, ISKCON is multi-guru society and we accept the Guru Tattva as whom? Kiva Vipra Kiva Nyasi Shudra Keninaya. Ye Krishna Tattva Veda saying Guru Hiya. Not necessarily to be a sannyasi, not necessarily to be a Brahman. Kiva Vipra Kiva Nyasi Shudra Keninaya. Not, he could be a Shudra also. Anyone can become a guru if he knows Ye Krishna Tattva Veda, those who understand the Krishna Tattva. C'est Guru Haya, he becomes the Guru. C'est lui qui est le vrai Guru. Il connaît la philosophie de Krishna Bhakti. So, the real problem is that since so many generations, this is what has been taught to people. You know, in Sanatana Dharma, we have always been kind of, very accommodating and always giving respect to others. So due to that respect, sometimes this is what has happened. So if someone poses himself as a learned scholar, so everyone starts going and falling at his feet. You can guide us, you can do this, you can go. Not only scholarship is required here, bhakti. How much bhakti is that person doing? We have to see that, but we don't see that. That's what Srila mentions. If you just get attracted by the flowery language of the Vedas, then you get into Karma Kand and you're gone. Right? You have to be very, very cautious. Vedas is there, yes, for every... See, not everyone is going back home, back to Godhead. Is everyone going? Then what will happen to Yamraj? Qu'est-ce que Yamraj va faire si tout le monde va aller chez Krishna? Qu'est-ce que Yamraj va faire, Mataji? Si tout le monde devient dévot là, Yamraj n'aura rien à faire. il va devoir fermer son département. We're just telling, if everyone becomes a devotee, then Yamraj won't have any work to do. He will have to close his department. Hell will be closed. So not everyone is going back home, back to God. But devotees want to take everyone back home, back to God. Krishna wants everyone to come back, but not everyone wants to go. They just want to keep on enjoying. And who wants you to enjoy? That's what we mentioned. What is the root cause of this problem? The mind, the subtle body. Now, if the mind is the real problem, consisting of we mentioned, the subtle body consists of the mind the intelligence and the false ego. These are the three main problems. So are we condemned? Est-ce que nous sommes condamnés? This body will deteriorate. We just mentioned you're going to die. We can't just say we have become blind. We don't see. Pashyanapi na pashyati. We just close our eyes. No, it's not going to happen. You're bound to die. But then, once you know that you have to go, what is the precaution that you have to take now? You're taking to bhakti. We take to bhakti, right? Then, under the guidance of the spiritual master, and now you have to follow. You have to follow. If you have, we say blind following is not good. We should not become blind followers. But if you have got a bona fide spiritual master, then you follow blindly. We follow Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada has given us everything. But Prabhupada told us, don't become blind followers. Analyze. Prabhupada has given us so much guarantee that even whatever I've taught you, if you follow it blindly, you're sure you're going to Krishna. So can we become blind followers of Srila Prabhupada? Yes, become. Because you are sure you're going back home, back to Godhead. This is a guarantee that the Guru has given. He's got the back door key. He's going to open the door and get you inside. That's what Srila Prabhupada has given us, the guarantee. Others, no one has given. So, here, real knowledge means searching out Krishna. Searching out for Krishna. But we have been searching for so many births. Bhavanam janmanamante. Right? After so many births and deaths, you have come here. Jnanavan ma prapattite. Vasudeva salamiti samahatma sudurlabha. If we have come here, means we have been struggling for so many births. And we have undergone so many deaths. Because remember, the soul never dies. Body dies, soul never dies. It's easy to say, but how to sit and contemplate and to realize that? It's not easy. And this you can realize only when you sit in front of Krishna, you do your japa. You have to sit and contemplate. That you are so tiny, minute, you are so, insignificant. Supposing ourselves like great scholars, learned scholars, this is the danger. Because sometimes we start developing pride, and then this is going to be the fall down. So real knowledge means searching out Krishna. Vedasya sarved aham eva vedyam. That's what. If we want to know Krishna through the Vedas, that's what Bhagavan Shri Krishna said. You learn the Vedas, you're going to do that? Yes. If you know me through the Vedas, okay. But if you don't know me, all your scholarship is gone. So all Vedic knowledge is meant for searching out Krishna, because Krishna is the origin of everything. As mentioned, Janmadisya. So this is the very first shlok of Srimad Bhāgavatam. Janmadisya tanvya idiratasya chatishva abhigyasvara tene brahma vidaya adi koi muyati asvara tejo vari mridam yatha vimuditri sarvam shatham asvena sada nirastakogam satyam paramadhimahi. Param satyam is Krishna. The very first, Janmadisya. Krishna is the origin of everything. In Bhagavad Gita 10.2, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Aham adirhi devanam. Yes. Then Bhagavan Shri Krishna starts explaining about his opulences. Chapter 10 is about what? The opulence of the Absolute. Krishna says, Aham adirhi devanam. I am the source of the demigods. So many people come and say, hey, ISKCON not like this. They are saying bad about Devta Devis. You're not saying anything wrong. Why don't you want to come and understand? Krishna is telling you the source of all the Devta Devis. What's wrong in that? What's wrong? What have we said? We are just repeating what Bhagavan Shri Krishna has mentioned. He mentioned, so we are just repeating. What's wrong with that? You want to pray to any Devta Devi, that's up to you. Bhagavan Shri Krishna also said that. You want to pray, go and pray. But indirectly you are praying me, but that is the wrong way. Can you challenge Krishna? not. So we don't accept. That's our foolishness. Right, Prabhuji? So, if you are kind of, attracted by Kam, this is what Bhagavan Shri Krishna said, Kama is tested hitrigana, prapadyante anya devata. Those who are attracted towards all other divinities, with all due respect, they are doing out of lust. Because they want something from that personality. And we have been explaining about the pastime of Bhasmasura. I won't repeat about Bhasmasura today, but you heard about Bhasmasura so many times. He easily satisfied Lord Shiva. And then at the end, after getting the boon, he wanted to try it on Lord Shiva. And he wanted to now, just like lusty desires, now he wanted to remove Lord Shiva and become the husband of Parvati Mata. So this is the qualities of people who have, those who have the demoniac qualities. They're always there. So we have to be cautious. So thus Krishna is the origin and beginning of all demigods, including Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and all others. And this is what Bhagavan Shri Krishna shows to Arjuna when he shows his Virat Roop, the universal form. He shows. Has anyone else shown the universal form? Nowadays we have so many Pakhandis, we should say. They are coming and putting photos of themselves with so many heads, and I don't know what they're showing. Don't put photo, come and show it. They can't. They're using Photoshop. You know, Prabhu? Photoshop? They're using Photoshop to show that they have become God. Only Bhagavan Shri Krishna, one and only, has shown the Virat Roop. Where you see all the 33 koti, 330 million. Some say no, there's only 33, whatever you believe in. But they are all coming from Bhagavan Shri Krishna. That's what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. Bhagavan Shri Krishna showed it, and his pure devotee is explaining the same thing. That Krishna is the source of all demigods, including Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and all others. The Vedic ritualistic ceremonies are concerned with satisfying different demigods. But unless one is very advanced, he cannot understand that the original personality is Shri Krishna. Many times we have mentioned about two very important shloka from Srimad Bhāgavatam. 1.2, 29. Where there is a whole summary. 1.2, 28, 29. Two shloka there. There is a summary of everything. In the beginning only Srila Vyasdeva has written this summary. You can repeat. Boliye. Vasudeva para Veda. Vasudeva para Makhaha. Vasudeva para Yoga. Vasudeva para Kriya. Vasudeva param Jnanam. Vasudeva param Tapah. Vasudeva paro dharmo. Vasudeva paragati. This is the conclusion. What to understand here? If you want to read Vedas, what should you know? Vasudeva para Veda. So the aim of reading or studying Vedas is to know Vasudeva. Vasudeva Paramakha. Om Swaha Swaha you are doing. Om Shri Krishna Swaha Idam Krishna Idam. All is for Krishna. So through Yagna also you have to know Vasudeva only. He is Bhoktaram Jagatapasam. Whatever you offer, he is the supreme enjoyer. Vasudeva Para Yoga. What do you mean by yoga? Yoga is not just doing some, like Prabhupada mentions, doing some gymnastic or some asana, some pranayama, and you become a yogi. But a yogi, through his mystic powers, he has to know Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Vasudeva para yoga. Vasudeva para kriya. Whatever we do, karmakand. If someone is doing karmakand, if you observe, when the Pandit comes, if the Pandit is really learned, he is going to bring his Shaligram Shila. And whatever he is doing, he is going to offer to Krishna first. And then whatever others will get later on. But the main recipient, the main personality who enjoys everything, Karmakand, Jnankand, or whatever, is Vasudeva. Vasudeva Param Jnanam, we just mentioned. Everyone wants to gain knowledge about God. Everyone is struggling, we just mentioned. Universal management. Right? They want to know about Bhagavan Shri Krishna. But they'll never be able to know. Why? Because they're in Maya. They don't want to do bhakti. You just want to know about the absolute truth without doing sacrifice. What will you learn? Is it so easy? Just open a book and read and I know who's going to. Yeah, I've met him. I know him. No. You'll never be able. Till you don't sacrifice, you don't do tapasya, you don't follow the rules and regulations, Krishna is never going to reveal himself. He is there in the heart, not far away. He won't reveal himself. He is there always, following us since birth, and so many things we have been changing the body. He has been with us as our best friend, as our ever well-wisher, like Shopad mentions. He never leaves us. But we don't want to look at him. So why should he look at you? He's taking care of you, your body, eating, drinking, mating, defending, whatever you're doing. He's taking care of all that. But if you don't have time for him, why? Just we mentioned like the father. The father has so many sons, but whom he is going to give more attention? The one who is very obedient. Le père a plusieurs fils. Quel fils il sera tiré avec? Celui qui est obéissant, qui l'écoute. The one who is obedient, who listens to his discipline. Or the one who says, hey, I don't need my father. I got everything. I got my, I'm the legitimate here. I've got my, whatever I need. I'm going now. So this is how the entire world is going on nowadays. They're just taking the quota and going. They're called thieves. Chor. Because whatever has been given by the Supreme Father, Lord Shri Krishna. So if you don't acknowledge that, why do we say before you eat, you offer to Krishna? Because he's asked, do that. Do that. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Do you give me that? You have to offer it to him. He's asked, he's given us the rules and regulations, follow it. Okay, so we continue. The Vedic ritualistic ceremonies are concerned with satisfying all different demigods, but unless one is very advanced, he cannot understand that the original personality is Shri Krishna. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Usadlo Brahma mentions. Now after hearing the instructions of Narad, King Barishma, or Prachin Barishad, came to his senses. Now, after so much time that the Guru has preached to the disciple, because Sri Narad Muni is the Guru, and the disciple is Raja Prachin Barishad. He has listened to him longly and really. And when you're in association of pure devotees, you get purified. This is what he got purified, and he came to his senses. Now the real goal of life is to attain devotional service to the Supreme Personal Godhead. We need to attain devotional service. We have to do bhakti. So the king therefore decided to reject the so-called priestly orders that simply engage their followers in the ritualistic ceremonies without giving effective instructions about the goal of life. This is what we told you. This is the controversy. Many won't be happy. Hey, what are they saying? ISKCON is saying this. Not ISKCON is saying this. Srila Narad Muni is saying this. This is what Srila Narad Muni has instructed. This is what Srila Prabhupada has written the purpose so that we understand what's happening here. And many don't want you to know about it. Why? Because their businesses will crash. There won't be any further business. Vous comprenez, Mataji? C'est que du business. And the business won't flourish. That's why they start blaming Hare Krishnas. If they have blamed Bhagavan Shri Krishna, why is there to blame devotees? ISKCON devotees. So we have to be ready. Who are those? Those who are demoniac. They might be there in the garb of, so many, look scholarly and okay, this and that. But then, they don't know the real goal of life. And you have to be very, very cautious. So the so-called priestly orders that simply engage their followers in the ritualistic ceremonies without giving effective instructions about the goal of life. What is the goal of life? What is our goal of life? Go back home, back to Godhead. And till we are here, how we do go back home, back to Godhead? Is by serving Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And how to serve Bhagavan Shri Krishna? Someone can say, okay, I have all the amenities, facilities. I stay in my house. I put Shri Krishna here, okay. I don't want to associate with devotees. You can't do it without association of devotees. You need devotees in your life. It is not to be done alone. Has this been mentioned? That someone just put the vigraha of Bhagavan Shri Krishna in his house and he does the seva there only and that's it, he's done? No, you have to associate with devotees. That association is very important. Okay? So, we continue, nearly done. So, at the present moment, the churches, temples and mosques all over the world are not attracting people. It's a fact. If you go to the churches, the mosques and the temples, you might be forcing people to come there. Some people might be going out of sentiment. But why people are not going to the temple, they're not going to the churches, they're not going to the mosques all over the world, are not attracting people? Because foolish priests cannot elevate their followers to the platform of knowledge. Clear cut, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. Till you don't know the science of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you don't know. You won't be able to attract people. They won't come. So not being aware of the real goal of life, they simply keep their congregations in ignorance. That's what you just mentioned. They have so many followers, so they think of keeping them in the dark. Because if they know the truth, he's going to lose his position. He's going to lose his business. He's going to lose money. This is what they are afraid of. That's why they don't reveal. So, not being aware of the real goal of life, they simply keep their congregations in ignorance. Consequently, those who are well educated have become uninterested in the ritualistic ceremonies. If you just do rituals, people will be kind of fed up. Because people will ask, this is just ritual ongoing. You ask about rituals. Why are they doing these rituals? They don't know themselves. They might give you, okay, we do this because of this, because of that. Okay. Which is just ritual, it's not spiritual. Ritual, spiritual. Prabhuji, we mentioned. Spiritual, already we see here, SPI. There's no spy. SP for Srila Prabhupada, I for ISKCON. That's why you have spirituality here. It's not only ritual here. That's why you are begging everyone, come to ISKCON. There's Srila Prabhupada, there's ISKCON, and then we have our rituals also. But then it's not only ritual. Here there's explanation also. You're learning many things about life. Okay? So not being aware of the real goal of life, okay, we just mentioned that. So consequently, those who are well educated have become uninterested in the ritualistic ceremonies. At the same time, they are not benefited. They are not benefited with real knowledge. This Krishna consciousness movement is therefore very important for the enlightenment of all classes. Here we don't differentiate, okay, we only need the scholarly class of people to come to the discourses. It's for everyone. You come here, even if you don't understand, the sound vibration is simply going to purify you. That's why we say, Nashta Praishu Bhadreshu. Just by Shinvatam Samatha Krishna. Just by hearing, there is so much cleansing happening inside. So this Krishna consciousness movement is therefore very important. Following in the footsteps of Maharaj Barishman or Barishat, everyone should take advantage of this Krishna consciousness movement and abandon the stereotype ritualistic ceremonies that go under the garb of so many religions. Srila Prabhupada has been categorical here. Same thing like Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaj, just leave all that. Mam Ekam Shamuraja. Just come to me. Om Tama Sarupapyabhu Mokshishima Suchama. Do not fear, I'll take care of everything. Just come to me. But till you are just taken up with karma kand, gyan kand and rituals, you'll feel something missing inside. And we have all experienced this, we know that, before coming here. So I'll read that line again. It's very, very... Some might feel it's very harsh, but this is the reality. So, we read that part again. Following the footsteps of Maharaj Barishman, everyone should take advantage of this Krishna consciousness movement and abandon the stereotyped ritualistic ceremonies that go under the garb of so many religions. There's only one religion, Sanatana Dharma, which was always Sanatana, eternal, nothing man-made. We follow man-made religions, we'll go there for some time and you'll feel fed up and you leave and you'll go somewhere else. Today I'm this, today I'm that, tomorrow I'm that. After 1 week I've again converted, become this. And after another 1 year I've converted, become this. Why? Because there's no fulfillment there. You'll never be happy. Because the goal of life is not being taught there. They are only taught about this life. Some say there's only one life. Enjoy. Why enjoy? What enjoy? Are they telling you that you're going to die and now you have to prepare for the next? No one tells you. Only Sanatana Dharma is there. Others telling you when the body is finished, everything is finished. No. You feel you're doing so much bad karmas, Hare Krishna. You're doing so many bad activities and you feel you just escape like this. You won't escape. The law of karma is so perfect, we mentioned earlier. It's so perfect, it's going to act. That's why I say, there's no excuse for ignorance. So this is the chance to understand what, and to, you have to take advantage of this Krishna conscious movement. Now the Goswamis from the very beginning differed from the priestly class that was engaged in ritualistic ceremonies. Yeah, even our Goswamis had been facing so much, we should say, oppositions from the Smartha Brahman, like we call them. They call Smartha Brahman. They do rituals, but when we tell them to come, let's sit and do some japa, let's do some service for Krishna, they won't do. Because for them it's only rituals. You ask them, that they don't know why they're doing. And here, every single action, whatever action you're doing, it has been explained in the Srimad Bhāgavatam. And who has given that? Bhagavan Shri Krishna himself has given. Sometimes people say, but why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? In the morning when you do Abhishek, who told you to do this? Bhagavan Shri Krishna has mentioned that in Bhāgavatam. Go and read, 11th canto. He's explained everything. From doing his Abhishek, waking him up in the morning, doing all his bhogas and artis, everything has been explained by Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So there is no mental speculation here. It's just following the instructions and the rules and regulations. Okay? So here, indeed, Srila Sanatana Goswami compiled the Hari Bhakti Vilas for the guidance of the Vaishnavas. So all aspiring Vaishnavas, practicing Vaishnavas, we have to follow the Hari Bhakti Vilas, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned. Hari Bhakti Vilas. Take a look, we discussed about that in the past. Hare Krishna. So the Vaishnavas are not caring for the lifeless activities of the priestly classes, take to full Krishna consciousness and become perfect in this very life. That's why we were telling you, we go the reverse way. Sometimes we just talk about the Char Purusharth. Bhagavatam doesn't mention Char Purusharth. In the very beginning, Dharma Projita Kaitavu is called this Kapat Dharma. We don't follow any Kapat Dharma. यहाँ पे कपट नहीं होता है. Kapat, you know what is kapti, Prabhu? How do you translate that in French? Kapat. Hypocrite. Il n'y a pas d'hypocrisie ici. Dharma Projita Kaitavu atra paramor nirmat saranam satam. It's only for those who are not envious. Satam for devotees. It's for devotees. Those who are really not envious. One quality very important. We're talking about Rava's 10 head. We not finish it, but then one is there. We mentioned our Kam, Krodh, Mad, Lobh, Moh, Matsarya, enviousness. We have to be away from that. Then you can enjoy Bhagavatam and understand Bhagavatam and apply it in our life. So, this is what Srila Prabhupada is not only mentioning, but we are seeing that so many practicing devotees who are following Krishna consciousness, they are just kind of least bothered about all these ritualistic ceremonies and taking up to bhakti. If you are doing some ritual, doesn't mean you are a bhakta. Many times we confuse ourselves. Okay, hey, he's so much engrossed in this, he's doing this, he's doing that, this, that. What he's doing we don't know, but they correlate it to bhakti. That is not bhakti. What is bhakti, Prabhuji? Our Shastra explains what is bhakti. 9 ways of doing bhakti. Navda bhakti. Even you read Sri Ramcharitmanas, you read Ramayana, you read Mahabharata, you read Srimad Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita. The 9 processes of bhakti does not change. Everywhere the same mention is there. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padisevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. 9 ways of doing bhakti. Starting from Shravanam, hearing Hari Katha. Then Kirtanam, we do our japa. Everyone has got the japa beads. We can do some more japa before leaving. Vishnu Smaranam. Think of Bhagavan Vishnu Tattva. Now someone will give you, they've never mentioned about Krishna. If you differentiate between Vishnu and Krishna, then you are full number 1. Because Krishna is the source of Vishnu. That's what we have to understand also. Because Prahlad Maharaj, he was Vishnu Bhakta. That's why Narasimha appeared, right? So who is the source of all incarnations? Purushavatar, Leela Avatar, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Ete chams kala pumsa, Krishna swam to Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is Bhagavan and others are just his incarnations. So the Vaishnava not caring for the lifeless activities, the priestly classes take to full Krishna consciousness and become perfect in this very life. That's what you mentioned. You become perfect in this very life. Dharma, Artha, Kam and Moksha. Moksha is last. When you come to do bhakti, Moksha is first. You become Jivan Mukta. Being in this body, you are already liberated. You are already liberated. So we don't have to wait for death and then get liberated. Being in this body, you are serving the Lord. You are already liberated. This is the difference between the Char Purusharth or any Kapat Dharma. Who tell you when you reach that level, then you get liberated. No. Liberation can be achieved within this body. You become an Avdut. Like Jar Bharat. So many personalities. So, that is described in the previous verse as Paramhams Sharanam. Paramhams. Taking shelter of the Paramhams, the liberated soul, and becoming successful in this life. And we are lucky that we had, not all of us, but some who had the association of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, founder Acharya of ISKCON, a perfect Paramhams who lived a life. Sometimes when you talk of Paramhams, they say, Prabhu, but then a Paramhams should live only on a loincloth, langot, and walk around like an Avdut. But what do our Acharyas say? Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhi Yuktam Vairagam Uchate. Yukta Vairagam. Use everything in the service of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Even opulence you can use. That's why ISKCON temples are so opulent. Right? Some people say, when the Paramhams you have to live like a beggar. No. Everyone can do bhakti wherever you're situated, in whatever ashram you are. Whether you're brahmachari, grihastha, vanprastha, sannyasi, whether you are Brahman, you're Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Anywhere you can do bhakti. And when you become Vaishnava, all these become insignificant. All these become insignificant. So, a devotee, a Vaishnava, only business is what? To serve Krishna and to give Krishna to others. In whatever way. What Mahaprabhu told us. Whom you come across, Yare deke tar kahe Krishna Upadesh. Amara gya Guru hai tare, become Guru. And we told you the qualification of Guru. You need not be a sannyasi. I don't want to get into controversies, but then becoming sannyasi in Kali Yuga has been prohibited. Very few selected can become sannyasi. There are few things that are prohibited in Kali Yuga. Because to follow this, the dharma of sannyas is not easy. That's why it's prohibited in Kali. Ashwamedh yajna is prohibited. Gomedh yajna is prohibited. Offering oblations of flesh to your forefathers is prohibited. Then there is also, it used to be at one time when the brother is married, doesn't having children, then the other brother could, impregnate the sister-in-law. But that also is prohibited in Kali. And fifth is taking sannyas is prohibited. 5 activities prohibited in Kali as per Padma Purana. So we don't want to get into controversies. Okay. Not everyone. Why? Because majority of in Kali they are all Shudras. Kalo Shudra Sambhava. In Kali everyone is Shudra. But we have to become Vaishnava. If you know the Krishna Tattva, you become Guru. So to become a Guru, you don't need to be a sannyasi, you don't need to be a Brahman, you don't need to be a Pakhandi, whatever. You just have to be a simple person, wherever you're situated. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And as per your capacity, keep preaching Krishna consciousness. Because this is the preaching movement. This is not Bhajananandi. We are not Babajis here. Just sitting and doing our own bhajan. That's okay, with all due respect. Be happy in that. But ISKCON is Goshtyanandi. We are here for preaching. Whatever we have learned, we preach. Don't go and preach to the mass if you can't. But go. Whatever Srila Prabhupada has done, no one can do. Sorry, no one can do that. Because Srila Prabhupada was empowered by Bhagavan Shri Krishna and by his Guru himself. But at least we can preach to our close ones, our family members, our friends, our colleagues. And by so doing, we'll become very dear to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. This is what Bhagavan Shri Krishna also confirms. Whoever preaches this Bhagavad Dharma is very dear to me. And in the future, there won't be anyone more dear than this person. Hare Krishna. Boli Granthashram Bhāgavatam ki. Jai Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Premanande. So anyone has any question? Des questions, Mataji? Je pense que vous avez... On a dit trop beaucoup même aujourd'hui. On a...
Last time I see Bhagavatam class was finished, maybe it was 10 o'clock.
When there's audience, I started alone. There was no one when I started. I started the class in the morning. I came, I said...
That's good.
But then I won't say no one, but Srila Prabhupada is there, Srila Golokānanda is there. So all the Devata Devis are here listening to Bhagavad Gita. So we never say there's no one.
I have so many questions, Prabhu.
Something maybe you can ask Prabhu.
I have to cook because there's a cooking.
Yeah, Prabhuji is cooking.
So one question, guys, very quickly. There are some people taking our philosophies and making some movement. What do you think about this?
They won't last. See, I'm not kind of going to criticize anyone.
No.
But just whatever. This is the question, right? There are so many associations. They have formed so many associations. And they are taking... I know one friend, I'm not going to mention which society he was following, but he said, Prabhu, I'll tell you one thing. One thing is guaranteed. All that, whatever I preach, I read from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhāgavatam of Srila Prabhupada. Here's one association. Another association, I went to do one kirtan long ago. I went to the library. I saw full set of Srimad Bhāgavatam Srila Prabhupada there. So what they are doing, see, they don't have philosophy. And not many, we should say, associations have given, all these Vedic scriptures in such a simplified way, such an easy way that is, easily digested, that you can understand it. Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta purports, the English that Prabhupada has written is very simple. Even the common lay person can understand. N'importe qui peut lire les purports de Srila Prabhupada et comprendre. Not everyone had the chance. Who has given that time? No one. That's why they acknowledge, they take it. But then where is the problem? The problem is in sense gratification. The problem is in sense gratification. That friend of mine told me, Prabhu, I tell you frankly, je suis franc. Je vous dis franchement, je lis le Bhagavad Gita de Srila Prabhupada et je lis le Bhāgavatam de Srila Prabhupada et je fais mes prédications à travers de ces livres-là, mais sous le nom d'une autre association. That's what they're doing. They're preaching Krishna Bhakti through all the associations, name under all the banners, what you can say. But they don't want to follow rules and regulations. He told me, see, I drink my whiskey, I eat my non-veg, I'm happy in that. But Srila Prabhupada has warned that if you listen to such kind of people, you're not going to get purified. Otherwise, Srila Prabhupada said, okay, anyone can preach. But it is not going to be effective. The preaching won't be effective. Even the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Srila Prabhupada mentioned this. Don't even hear the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra by all these professional singers, this and that. Why? What analogy has Srila Prabhupada given? Because milk touched by a serpent or snake becomes poisonous. So instead of having a positive impact or a positive effect on you, it's going to have a negative effect. Sometimes we get carried away. We say, I want to listen to this kirtan by someone. That person is not devotee. Okay, you might hear, but it's not going to have any effect on you. It's not going to have any effect. Yeah. So we have to be very cautious about that. So that's why you have so many associations. So many have come up. We call them Upper Sampradaya. Why? Because, even bhakti is has become some kind of business nowadays. As Gaur Gopal Prabhu mentioned, I'm taking the liberty to mention Prabhuji's mentions. Choose your business wisely. That's why so many associations have come up just like mushroom. Mushroom, les champignons. Après les éclairs, l'orage, maintenant les champignons. So this is what's going to happen. And this is already predicted in Bhagavad Gita, the divisions of faith. There'll be so many religions. Why? Because they are all dictated by the three modes of material nature. Like the example of the institution I told you. There are no rules and regulations there. These people are reading Shastra. They say, they're okay. Maybe they might gain something, but till they don't associate with devotees, they won't change. To be able to associate with the Supreme Pure, you have to purify yourself. Else, you won't go to Krishna. Taking bhakti cheaply and doing all nonsensical activities, like the Srila Prabhupada mentioned. So many of ISKCON devotees who went in Vrindavan, they just, went to so many different Babajis and started. We went to Vrajvasis, but then we see even they are to. Prabhupada never said to criticize Vrajvasis, but then we said they are not going. Prabhupada once cried when this question was asked to Srila Prabhupada. He cried. He said, I've given them everything, but then they've come to Dham and they're going somewhere else. I can't say anything. They'll be misled. They'll be misled. Srila Prabhupada mentioned, if you don't follow rules and regulations, you'll end up like monkeys in Vrindavan. If you take Dham cheaply and go and do all nonsensical activities there, you think you get liberated? No, you'll end up like another living entity there. Like dogs and hawks, like Srila Prabhupada mentions. Prabhuji, il y a quelque chose que vous voulez demander. I think you want to ask, there's so many things you want to say. Please.
Prabhu?
No, I'm meeting Prabhu.
He's a very good friend of Guruji.
Jai.
He's a full-time devotee.
Okay.
Guruji's time.
Your good name, Prabhuji? Gaur Riders. I think Prabhuji, Jai. Gaur Riders. Jai Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Nice to see you, Prabhuji. You come regularly?
No, I live fast.
Vous êtes en France pour le moment?
Non, j'habite pour l'instant pour Croyant-Flac.
Ah, Croyant-Flac, ok.
On a un peu
Oui, oui, non, moi, tu comprends. Vous êtes en vacances, là?
Non, moi je ne suis pas en vacances.
Eux, ils sont en vacances.
Non, non, personne n'est en vacances.
Non, personne n'est en vacances.
On peut dire un petit peu parce que question should be asked in time, place and consent.
Yes, yes. Yes.
À ce moment, il y a tous les débouts. Question sur la pauvreté.
Yeah.
Les bonnes notifications. Plutôt un mental.
Maintenant, yeah.
Si vous permettez.
Yes, yes, bon, sûr. Sûr.
Comme je peux préserver et écouter ces noms avec un pur
Yeah.
dévot. Et pas absolument pour l'apparence,
Mm.
mais un pur dévot.
Pur.
Et préserver, si vous permettez, s'il y a une rectification, vous pouvez pas.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Vous pas parfait.
Nul n'est parfait.
Actuellement, dans préservation, dans Vrindavan, les vrais Brajavasi, ils ne sont pas dans Vrindavan en général.
Oui, oui, définition. À 100%. Prabhu is going to give something very special now. This is the nectar we have to take. Yes, please, Prabhu.
I will get some,
To get nectar, lah. Oh Krishna, oh very good. Hey, what you see, so how bhakti is so blissful. You come for katha and you get Mahaprasad. Ah, Prabhuji, please. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please, Prabhu. Yeah.
Les bouts, là, il y a des bouts, c'est pas de problème. Dans les niveaux, il y a assez avancé.
Oui, oui, oui. C'est pas facile de digérer.
Vous pouvez présenter. Les vrais, en général, les vrais Brajavasi, en général, en la majorité, ne sont pas
Chaurasi kosh. Chaurasi kosh.
dans la campagne, les cannes,
Yeah.
les
Oui, oui.
paisibles.
Oui, 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 oui. Définitivement.
Mais les gens de l'extérieur, entier du monde, plutôt vers Bangladesh, Bengale,
D'accord, yeah.
des établis beaucoup dans Vrindavan,
Yeah.
et un peu dans l'Inde, un peu. Maintenant, c'est chaque coin du monde.
Oui, chaque fois tu
Maintenant,
mets.
c'était n'importe où, je peux habiter, c'est passé.
Yeah.
Mais, et puis, une vraie du passé pour comprendre un peu les débats, les démons, la solution des mots. Pour faire parikrama.
Yeah.
Ne pas grâce aux autres, pas d'autres, voilà. On est un peu.
Very hot topic, sir. Oui, oui.
Alors, un préservatif, les transcendantales.
Définitivement. Because they're all liberated.
Alors, moi, Krishna, Krishna Vrindavan, beaucoup d'états de vie, même chez les Prabhupada, ils ne peuvent pas comprendre Krishna.
Oui, ben, ici.
Mais nous,
Lakshmi Mata, de l'autre côté, Yamuna, pas attendre. Pas de accès.
Comme nous, c'est presque impossible d'être ensemble. Mais pour la grâce, Guru,
Oui,
je veux dire, pour
définitivement.
la grâce de l'association Mandir,
Yes.
une pure réalisation, Uttamadikari.
Autant dire.
Et là, on comprend Krishna même, en personne, on comprend Prabhupada, on comprend ISKCON, on comprend Dham. Et puis, mais là, pour dire préserver, mais c'est pour nous avoir un peu de nouveau.
Je ne vais pas vous comprendre.
Non, on va comme l'eau.
Oui, oui, définitivement. Je ne vais pas vous comprendre.
Alors,
De mon understand.
ban préserver,
Définitivement.
il faut préserver, on est ouvert. Maintenant, il y a une city dans Vrindavan.
Oui, oui, dernière expérience que nous avons trouvée l'année passée, pas facile.
City.
Facile. Mais seulement, comme on veut dire, Prabhu, When you go to the deeper sites, the villages, là-bas c'est it's another bliss. And vous connaissez, il y a beaucoup de personnes, vous appelez le Dham Mahatmya un peu. Et vous avez entendu ce que Prabhupada dit un peu? Ouais. Et vous connaissez le Dham Mahatmya, on disait que pour cause de Radharani, je ne sais pas jamais une cause de Radharani as such. It's not a topic that anyone can just talk. Même dans le Vrajvasi aussi. Hare Krishna aussi. Mais beaucoup de fois que nous trouvons qu'il y a beaucoup de personnes, je le vis dans le Dham. Et je t'appelle le Dham Vasi. De la chance de réussir dans le Dham, c'est pas facile dans le Dham. Dham is kind of guarded in all directions by Lord Shiva himself. Mais là, nous trouvons qu'il ne peut pas dire que Bankin Vini peut rester and they're gaining out of that, to be gagnant. Ok, c'est bon. Mais quand je finis, je peux faire une activité qui n'est pas correcte. C'est surtout pour ça une activité qui devient vraiment difficile. Parce que quand on dit un vrai Dham basis, c'est pas easy to get. Pas facile pour gagner d'autres associations. Parce que comment Prabhupada, quand il s'est pleuré dans sa façon, il raconte des dévots spéciaux, des Prabhupada. Vous êtes venus en Dham avec vos disciples et combien sont partis? Ils sont allés de différents babadis et tout. Mais je ne veux pas cry dans that day. Après, on m'a dit bon, moi je les ai donné tout ce qu'ils devaient savoir et pour aller à Krishna, ils sont venus dans Dham maintenant. Ben bon, maintenant il y a plusieurs de ces babadis qui sont venus là. Bon. Ils ne sont pas originalement là. Ils restent là. Ils ont le motif. Mais je ne peux rien dire. Mais ce que j'ai donné, je n'ai pas plus que ça à donner. C'est suffisant pour aller chez Krishna. But we had to understand that. Why he mentioned, that kind of situation. Because he knew, they get alert. They think, okay, I've come to Dham, if I go this, I do this, it will be easy. And we are not there to criticize even those who follow Raganuga Bhakti also. That's their bhav. They are following. But I've heard so many preachers criticizing, no, we should not. They are preaching Raganuga Bhakti, but we are following Vaidhi Bhakti. We have not reached that level. Then we can say we follow the Raganuga Bhakti. We are followers, but we are very far away from that level. Till we reach that purification. So Vaidhi Bhakti, lots of sacrifice, coming to Mangalarti, chanting, rules and regulations, and do's and don'ts. We do that. But if you want to jump to Raganuga Bhakti directly, that's very difficult. And this is what, basically, c'est ça qui est passé avec ceux qui sont venus avec Srila Prabhupada. Ils voulaient, comme si, quitter le Vaidhi Bhakti et aller à Raga Bhakti directement. C'est vraiment difficile. Beaucoup.
Et peut-être une leçon, c'est pas suffisant.
Il ne sera pas suffisant, définitivement.
Plusieurs leçons.
Plusieurs leçons. Bhavanam, de mon âme. Bhav, yeah.
Donc, nous voilà le programme parce qu'on comprend beaucoup. Et poison, vous dire poison qui est un chrétien, il n'est pas pur, et peut-être transmettre la Harinam Sankirtan. Comment expliquer, comment c'est la constitution.
Aisha.
Bénin.
Yes.
Mais des fois, pour la circonstance, c'est-à-dire dans tout niveau.
Oui, pas tout le monde qui va comprendre.
Moins grave pour les gens. Mais il y a un certain outside and the certain inside person.
Yeah. And plus aussi important, we should not have any hidden agenda. Hidden agendas. Sometimes, nos agenda c'est Krishna au centre. On fait service, on va servir Krishna. Mais il y a beaucoup de personnes qui sont venues dans le mouvement, ils ont un autre agenda. Vous comprenez l'agenda? Ils veulent avoir quelque chose d'autre. Mais ça aussi devient un problème.
Ouais, ça c'est une conversation intérieure.
Yeah.
C'est pas public.
C'est pas public. Granth Srimad Bhāgavatam ki Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Sri Radha Golokānanda Bhagwan ki jai. All glories and assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya vacha. Patitanam pavinebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo